Hey guys, it's Story. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over some books that you should read if you are a fan of WandaVision. So if you're anything like me, you have been watching WandaVision these past few weeks. We watched it every Friday. My boyfriend's a Marvel fan. I'm not particularly, but now that I have seen WandaVision, I'm probably going to watch the movies that come out because I have a feeling Wanda is going to be in all of them. So that just makes me super excited. I really like Wanda and Vision, of course. But as for the books, these are books that have the same themes as WandaVision, or at least feel like it in some way. I found an article from a website of book recommenders that talk about 10 books that are like WandaVision or have the same type of themes. So yeah, I'm gonna go over all those books. I'm not going to go through each synopsis since there are 10 of them. I'm just going to say what themes are similar. The fun part of this video is that I'm going to choose one of those books to read for you guys, test out if it truly does feel like WandaVision. So there will be a review at the end to let you know if it's worth the read, if it's good or not, first and foremost, and then also if I think that it feels like WandaVision. Before I get started, you might notice that my voice sounds different. It's because I'm sick. No, I do not have COVID. Before anyone asks, I got a test today, we're good. I just have a normal sickness, so excuse my voice, but let's go ahead and get into the books. I'm sure you already know the themes of the show if you've already watched it, but just as a reminder, WandaVision focuses a lot on grief. Love is a big part of the show, but grief is a bigger part of the show. Her husband has died, and so she has created a false world, a false perfect world where her husband is in it with her. So there's also a theme of the perfect family life, alternate universes, dimensions, multiple realities, time jumping for sure because we go from the 60s to the 80s to the 90s to now. And of course we know that Wanda is a witch and Vision is a robot, so there's definitely a little bit of fantasy thrown in there. There's some superhero action as well. Not as much as you would think, but there's definitely some sort of magic power fantasy element. But I will say I think the main themes of the show are grief, love, and alternate realities. So the first book on the list is The Stepford Wives by Ira Levin and Peter Straub. An idyllic neighborhood hides a terrible secret. I'm almost positive this is the same as the movie The Stepford Wives, so I can see why they pulled this one, especially when you think of the beginning of WandaVision. I don't want to spoil it, but I feel like most people have seen the movie. There is a man in this idyllic neighborhood who has one wife or maybe multiple wives, and they just seem like perfect specimens. So there's a lot of secrets, there's a lot of things going on in this neighborhood, so I definitely understand why they recommended this one. Next is Fool Me Once by Harlan Coben. Maya catches a glimpse of her husband playing with her daughter on their nanny cam, but he had been murdered weeks ago. So this one sounds really interesting to me. It's definitely a mystery, maybe even a thriller. This has the same themes as grief. They have a child together. One of the parents is dead, so I can totally see why this one would be recommended. The third one is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. I have seen this everywhere recently. I know it is about gentrification. I think it's in New York City. This thriller about gentrification is imbued with dread and quickly turns into a horror story. It's about gentrification in a neighborhood of a city, but it's also horror. I did not know it was horror. That's interesting. So I can see why this was recommended, but I don't know if this is going to be the best option for me. We definitely have a play on a neighborhood and the different perspectives of that neighborhood. But other than that, I don't know how that would be super similar. It's definitely going to be on my list of books I might choose though, because I've just heard it's really good. 4 is Fledging by Octavia Butler. A young girl has no memory of her past but starts to realize she has inhuman and startling abilities. So obviously this is playing with the themes of magic and superheroes. Wanda does know her past, but she hides it. So there's definitely a theme of kind of what's happened in the past versus now, especially if you're like me and didn't see a lot of the Marvel movies before the show. I think this one would be really interesting if I wanted to get just Wanda's perspective and not really a read that surrounds all of the themes. 5 is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I've heard of this for forever, for literally years. People love this book. Jason is abducted and wakes up in a new alternate version of his life. If you love WandaVision for the twist, then this book is for you. This is going to be high on my list because I think the theme of alternate lives, alternate realities is the biggest part to WandaVision, and it's what I really enjoyed. So I think this would be a really good read if I wanted that exact experience. 6 is Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty. Big big, brittle smiles cover up a lot of secrets in the seemingly perfect community filled with tight-lipped housewives. I've always wanted to watch the show, but I never really considered reading the book. I know it's about 3 housewives and kind of their drama. Their families are involved, but they are in this kind of, I guess, idyllic neighborhood as well. There's a lot of standards and prestige and that sort of thing. So I can see why it was recommended, but I don't know if it would be the exact feeling of WandaVision. Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. So this is a really big author. She wrote Little Fires Everywhere, which was adapted into a Hulu show by Reese Witherspoon. I actually tried watching this show and I got 3 episodes in and had to stop. I don't know. It didn't grab me at all. I didn't really like any of the characters. I didn't like the setup, the plot, and all that. I didn't really even like the setting. So yeah, I DNF'd that show. But for this book, it says, on the surface, Lydia leads a perfect life, but when her body is found in a lake, her family must explore what she had been keeping inside. So the main character lives a perfect life, but she has secrets. Obviously, Wanda's not the one that's dead. So again, I don't know if this would be exactly like that. It's really hard to say with these books because I could read this book, for example, and it gives me all the same feels as WandaVision, but it just wasn't marketed or introduced to me in that way. Next is Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. This book has been everywhere. People really, really love it, or people just kind of give it a 3-star rating type of book. It's definitely a horror book, I know, maybe even a thriller. A tough, smart heroine and a story that gets weirder and weirder as she digs deeper. So this is definitely going to be on my list to choose from because I've wanted to read this for a while. I just don't have it in my possession. So obviously whatever I choose, I'm going to listen to the audiobook because I don't have any of these physically. I'm thinking the part where it says it gets weirder and weirder as you dig deeper is going to give you that same type of feeling, and it says she is a tough, smart heroine. So yeah, obviously WandaVision isn't horror, so there's that, but I don't read horror very often, so who knows, it might be my new favorite genre. 9 is The Death of Vivek Oji by Akwaki Emezi. I'm trying. Vivek's death at the beginning of the book leads to an exploration of grief, identity, and family. Wow. Okay, that one is probably going to be a big contender because grief, identity, and family, those are like the 3 things that Wanda is involved in and struggles with. So that'll probably be a good one. And last but not least is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Camille heads to stay with her family in the town where she grew up after a stay at a psychiatric facility, only to find that they have gotten more stifling, more secretive, and more dangerous. This one is a really big contender. I've heard of Sharp Objects for forever. I believe it's been adapted into a show or a movie, I can't remember, but it has Amy Adam as the main character. And so I've seen a lot of people read it recently that really like it. So she goes back to a town where her family is from, only to find they've gotten more secretive and more dangerous. So it definitely has the same sort of themes, but we'll see about that. So I just looked up all of these titles on my audiobook app. I'm actually trying out a new one right now. What is it called? I think it's just called audiobooks. Yeah, it's just called audiobooks.com or something like that. I'll leave a link down below if they have some sort of link I can give you. For example, if you get like your first month free or something like that. I've not looked into it. I'm usually a SCRIBD member, but SCRIBD just doesn't have the options that I want. They don't add new audiobooks very often. I know they definitely have a referral link, but yeah, I had it for like a year and I just got kind of sick of never having the audiobooks I wanted to listen to. Like every time I look something up, it's just not there. I'll leave the link down below if I can find one, but I only have 5 of the 10 audiobooks, which is still better than SCRIBD. I'm sure none of these would be on SCRIBD. So my options are Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, Death of Vivek Oji by Akwaki Emezi, Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia, Fool Me Once by Harlan Coben, and Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. So I just went through all the synopsis to narrow it down, and I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of The Death of Vivek Oji. It's just not something I'm really interested in reading right now. It is the shortest one, so it should be the one that I choose. It's only 8 hours long. Everything else is 9 hours, 11 hours, 10 hours, and 10 hours. So next to help my decision, I'm going to go to Goodreads and see all of the ratings. So the top rated one is Dark Matter, and the second top rated one is Sharp Objects. So that means I need to get rid of Fool Me Once and and Mexican Gothic. Mexican Gothic actually has the least highest rating out of all those, which is surprising. So yeah, I'll probably read all of these books eventually, to be honest, but I'll go ahead and get rid of those. So now I'm down to Sharp Objects and Dark Matter. Sharp Objects is an hour shorter. I think I'm gonna go with Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I have had this on my to read list on Goodreads for a while now. I do want to read Sharp Objects eventually. Like I said, I'll probably listen to all of these audiobooks at one point, but I don't know, Dark Matter just sounds super interesting, and I think out of my options it's going to be the most like WandaVision because he is dealing with alternate realities. I don't know if there's going to be like 2 or 3 or 4 or what's going to go on exactly, but it is a thriller as well, and there's a lot of mystery. So it says he has a family in the synopsis as well, so there's a family theme. I wonder if he's going to lose his family in the alternate reality, so that'll be kind of like a grief and love theme as well. So yeah, I just think this is going to be the best one when it comes to this show, and also I'm just really interested to read this. I'm going to listen to this audiobook now and then update you with my review if I liked it in general, but also if it made me feel like I was back in the WandaVision world. Hey guys, so I am back with an update. I have not completely finished the audiobook yet. I'm actually halfway through, so I've listened to 5 of the 10 hours, but I want to go ahead and get this video up for you since WandaVision just concluded. And we're definitely not getting any more, which is really sad. It's definitely a transition into the next movie or whatever they're going to do, but I don't want to spoil anything, so I won't continue talking about it anymore. I know it was really easy for me and my boyfriend to see spoilers throughout watching the show, so I'm not going to do that to you. But anyways, before I end the video, I just want to update you with if I'm enjoying the book and if I feel like it is similar to WandaVision. So first off, yes, I'm enjoying the book. I don't know what star rating it would be, maybe a 4-star right now out of 5. I'm not sure, but it's definitely good. It's entertaining, it's quick. Basically, our main character, Jason, has been put into these alternate realities and he's trying to figure out how this started, what happened. He originally was a physics professor with a wife and 15-year-old son, but gets abducted one day and is given some sort of drug and wakes up in the ambulance talking to police about what happened. He is not a physics professor anymore. He's not married or ever got with his wife, and so they obviously don't have a child together. And so he's trying to win her back, figure out what's happened, and then more things kind of happen within that. The real question is, does it feel like WandaVision? It definitely does with the different realities. The only thing is it's more consistent in the book because he's going between the 2 realities back and forth, whereas you definitely do in the show, especially when you're with the FBI team, you're in Wanda's world and the FBI team and back and forth. But WandaVision is a little more planned out to where you're in one reality for a longer period of time, I think, but it's still the same theme. There's definitely some love in there. Not a huge theme of grief, but he loses his son in the alternate reality and has to win his wife back. So there's kind of a similar theme, but yeah, the main character is very, very happy in his original life. He just wished that he kind of did more and achieved more and had a more like adventurous life, essentially. There's no really like magical element, of course, but who knows, there might be. It seems like this book definitely has some twists and some things that I might not expect, so I'm expecting it to feel more and more like WandaVision. But if I had to rate it now out of 5, I would probably say it's like a 3.5, maybe 4-star out of 5. I know that's like a weird rating, but it's like getting there, but it's not exactly there. It's a mystery, a little bit of a thriller, whereas WandaVision is those things, but it has the similar themes, but they are just in different ways, if that makes sense. Another question is if the other books I didn't choose would possibly feel more like WandaVision. I'm definitely going to read Sharp Objects and then watch the movie or show, whichever one it is. But I'm thinking, what was it called? I'll pop it up on the screen here, but where the wife sees on video her dead husband playing with the child. I think that might be more like WandaVision. I don't know. There's really no saying. I feel like Mexican Gothic might not be exactly, and also Sharp Objects might not be exactly. I don't know about Vivek OG. So yeah, if I'm wanting to get the feeling of WandaVision just because I miss it so much, I already miss watching WandaVision knowing that it just ended, then I would probably choose that book that I can't remember the name of. Hopefully you've liked this video and it has been fun for you. If you are a fan of the show, if you wanted some recommendations so that you could live in the world for a little while longer, this was really fun for me to do. I'm just excited to finish the book to see if it is truly the same type of feeling, if it was a good recommendation. So yeah, of course, like the video. If you liked the video, subscribe if you haven't already, if you feel like it, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.